The sun began to set for the third time since Fireheart had almost drowned. The young warrior was washing himself outside his den, scraping his tongue across his fur. He kept imagining that he could still taste the muddy water. As he twisted his head to wash his back, he heard the pad of approaching paws and looked up to see Tiger Claw looming over him. "Bluestar wants you to go to the gathering," the deputy growled. "Meet her outside her den, and bring Sandstorm and Graystripe." He stalked away before Fireheart could reply. Fireheart got up and stretched. Glancing around, he spotted Graystripe and Sandstorm eating beside the patch of nettles and hurried over to join them. "Bluestar has chosen us to go to the gathering," he announced. Sandstorm finished off her blackbird and swiped a pink tongue around her jaws. "But can we get to the gathering?" she meowed, sounding puzzled. "I thought the stream was impossible to cross." "Bluestar said that StarClan would be angry if we didn't try," Fireheart mused. "She wants to talk to us now. Maybe she has a plan." Graystripe spoke through a mouthful of wool. "I just hope she doesn't expect us to swim." In spite of his words, his eyes shone with excitement as he gulped the rest of the fresh kill and sprang to his paws. Fireheart knew he must be looking forward to a chance to see Silverstream, and he wondered if they had managed to meet in the time since he and Graystripe had been caught crossing the river after their ill-fated hunting mission for RiverClan. Fireheart thought of Silverstream's kits, and he wondered how Graystripe would be able to bear seeing them grow up in another clan. Would Silverstream ever be able to tell them that Graystripe, the ThunderClan warrior, was their father? Fireheart tried to put the questions out of his mind as he and his friends crossed the clearing to High Rock. Bluestar was sitting outside her den, with Whitestorm, Mousefur, and Willowpelt all ready by her side. A moment later, Tiger Claw and Darkstripe joined them. "As you know, the moon is full tonight," Bluestar began, when all the cats were gathered around her. "It will be hard to get to Fourtrees, but StarClan would expect us to do all we can to find a dry route. So I've chosen warriors only. This will be no journey for elders or apprentices, or queens expecting kits. Darkstripe, you led the patrol to examine the stream this morning. Report what you found." "The water's going down," meowed Darkstripe, "but not fast enough. We patrolled as far as the Thunder Path, and there's nowhere a cat could cross without swimming." "The stream's narrower up there," meowed Willowpelt. "Could we jump across?" "Maybe if you grew wings," Darkstripe replied, "if all you've got is your paws." "But that has to be the best place to try," insisted Whitestorm. Bluestar nodded. "We'll start there," she decided. "Maybe StarClan will lead us to a safe place." She rose to her paws and led her cats quietly out of the camp. The sun had gone down, and twilight blurred the shapes of the forest. In the distance an owl hooted, and Fireheart could hear the rustle of prey in the undergrowth, but the warriors were too intent on their journey to hunt. Bluestar took them straight through the trees to a place where the stream emerged from hard stone tunnel underneath the Thunderpath. Their usual route to Fourtrees did not pass this close to the Thunderpath, and Fireheart wondered what his leader was planning to do. When they reached the tunnel, he saw the floodwater spread out on either side, reflecting the pale light of the rising moon. Water covered the Thunderpath as well, and as the cats watched, they saw a monster pass by, moving slowly, throwing up a filthy wave from around its black paws. Once the monster had disappeared into the distance, Bluestar led her cats to the water's edge of the hard surface of the Thunderpath. She sniffed the water, wrinkling her nose at the stench, and cautiously put one paw into the flood. "It's shallow enough here," she meowed. "We can walk up by the Thunderpath until we're on the other side of the stream, and get to Fourtrees along the border with ShadowClan." Walk up the Thunderpath? Fireheart felt his coat begin to prickle with fear at the thought of deliberately following the tracks of the monsters. Cinderpaw's accident had shown him what they could do to a cat, and she had only been at the edge. "What if another monster comes?" asked Graystripe, voicing Fireheart's fear. "We will keep to the side," Bluestar replied calmly. "You saw how slowly the monster was moving. Maybe they don't like getting their paws wet." Fireheart saw that Graystripe was still looked doubtful. He shared his friend's worries, but there was no point in protesting any more. Tiger Claw would just berate them for being cowards. "Bluestar, wait!" called Whitestorm as the clan leader waded into the water. "Remember how low our territory is on the other side of this stream. I can't help thinking it will be flooded there too. I don't think we'll get to Fourtrees without going onto ShadowClan territory, which is higher." A cat close to Fireheart let out a faint hiss, and Fireheart felt another pang of fear. A band of warriors setting paw across the border of a clan with which they had recently battled. If a patrol caught them, they would think it was an invasion. Bluestar paused, with water lapping over her paws, and looked back at Whitestorm. "Maybe," she acknowledged, "but we'll have to risk it if it's the only way." She set off again without giving her cats any time to protest. There was nothing to do but follow. Fireheart splashed along the edge of the Thunderpath just behind Whitestorm. Tiger Claw brought up the rear to keep a lookout for monsters coming from behind. At first everything was quiet except for a single monster traveling in the other direction on the opposite side of the thunder path. Then Fireheart heard a familiar growl and a splash of an approaching monster. "Look out!" Tigerclaw yowled from the end of the line. Fireheart froze, pressing himself against the low wall that edged the thunder path as it crossed the stream. Darkstripe scrambled on top of it and crouched there, baring his teeth at the monster as it passed. For a moment its strange glittering colors were reflected in the stinking water, and a wave washed out from it, soaking Fireheart as far as his belly fur. Then it was gone, and Fireheart could breathe again. As they reached the other side of the stream, Fireheart could see that Whitestorm was right. The low-lying land on the ThunderClan side was covered with water. There was nothing to do but continue along the edge of the thunder path until the land rose and was dry enough to walk on. Stepping thankfully off the paw-achingly hard thunder path, Fireheart raised his head and opened his jaws. A strong, rank stench filled his scent glands, the scent of ShadowClan. They had followed the thunder path out of ThunderClan territory, and now a swath of ShadowClan land lay between them and the gathering at Four Trees. "We shouldn't be here," Willowpelt murmured uneasily. If Bluestar heard the comment, she ignored it, quickening the pace until they were reaching across the sodden turf. There were few trees there, and the close-cropped grass offered no cover for trespassing cats. Fireheart's heart was beating fast, and not only from the speed of their journey. If ShadowClan cats caught them, they would be in trouble, but Four Trees was not far away, and their luck might hold. Then he caught sight of a dark shadow streaking over the ground ahead of them, on a course to intercept Bluestar at the head of the patrol. More shadows followed, and a furious yowling split the quiet night. For a heartbeat, Bluestar quickened her pace, as if she thought she could outrun the challengers. Then she slowed to a stop. Her warriors did the same. Fireheart stood panting. The shadows drew closer, and he saw that they were ShadowClan cats heading by their leader, Nightstar. "Bluestar!" he spat as he halted in front of the ThunderClan leader. "Why have you brought your cats onto ShadowClan territory?" "In these floods it was the only way to reach Four Trees," Bluestar replied, her voice low and steady. "We mean no harm, Nightstar. You know there's a truce for the gathering." Nightstar hissed, his ears flattened against his head and his fur bristling. "The truce holds at Four Trees," he snarled. "There's no truce here." Instinctively, Fireheart dropped into a defensive crouch. The ShadowClan cats, apprentices and elders as well as warriors, slipped silently into a semicircle around the smaller band from ThunderClan. Like Nightstar, their coats were bristling, and their tails lashed in anger. Their hostile eyes reflected the cold light of the moon. Fireheart knew that if it came to a fight, ThunderClan was hopelessly outnumbered. "Nightstar, I'm sorry," meowed Bluestar. "We would never trespass on your territory without good reason. Please let us pass." Her words did nothing to appease the ShadowClan cats. Cinderfur, the ShadowClan deputy, moved up beside his leader, a dim shape in the moonlight. "I think they're here to spy," he growled softly. "Spy?" Tigerclaw shouldered his way forward to stand next to Bluestar, his head thrust out towards Cinderfur until their noses were less than a mouth length apart. "What can we spy on here? We're nowhere near your camp." Cinderfur curled back his lip to reveal thorn-sharp teeth. "Give us the word, Nightstar, and we'll tear them apart." "You can try," growled Tigerclaw. For a few heartbeats Nightstar was silent. Fireheart's muscles tensed. Beside him, Graystripe growled low in his throat. Mousefur bared her teeth at the nearest ShadowClan warrior, and Sandstorm's pale golden eyes shone with readiness to fight. "Keep back!" Nightstar grunted, at last, to his warriors. "We'll let them pass. I want ThunderClan cats at the gathering." Though his words were friendly, he hissed them through bared teeth. Suddenly suspicious, Fireheart whispered to Graystripe, "What does he mean by that?" Graystripe shrugged. "Dunno. We've seen nothing of ShadowClan since the flood started. Who knows what they're up to?" "We'll even give you an escort," Nightstar went on, narrowing his eyes, "just to make sure you get to Four Trees safely. We wouldn't want ThunderClan to be scared off by an angry mouse, would we?" A murmur of agreement rose from the ShadowClan warriors. They shifted so that they surrounded ThunderClan on all sides. With a faint nod, Nightstar set off beside Bluestar. The other cats followed, and ShadowClan patrol matching ThunderClan step for step. ThunderClan headed for the gathering, completely encircled by their enemies. The moon was at its height as Fireheart and the other ThunderClan cats were herded into the hollow beneath the four oak trees. A fierce cold light poured down over the members of RiverClan and WindClan who were already assembled. All of them turned to stare curiously at the group descending the slope. Fireheart knew that he and the rest of his clan must look like prisoners. He stalked along proudly, head and tail held high, defying any cat to say that they had been beaten. To his relief, the ShadowClan cats slipped away into the shadows as soon as they reached the hollow. Bluestar headed straight for the great rock with Tigerclaw at her side. Fireheart looked around for Graystripe and found that his friend had already disappeared. A moment later, he caught sight of him approaching Silverstream, but the Silver Tabby was surrounded by other RiverClan cats, and Graystripe could only hover nearby, looking frustrated. Fireheart suppressed a sigh. He knew how much Graystripe must be longing to see Silverstream again, especially now that she was expecting Kits, but there was a huge risk in meeting at a gathering, where any cat could catch them together. "What's up with you?" Master made him jump. "You look as if you got something in your mind." Fireheart stared at the brown warrior. I was thinking about what Nightstar said," he improvised rapidly. "Why did he say he wants ThunderClan cats here?" "Well, I'm sure of one thing. He's not being kind and helpful," Sandstorm mewed, coming up with Willowpelt beside her. She licked one paw and drew it over her ear. "We'll find out soon enough." "Trouble's coming," Willowpelt meowed over her shoulder as she went to join a group of WindClan queens. "I can feel it in my paws." Uneasier than ever, Fireheart padded back and forth under the trees, listening with one ear to the cats around him. Most of them were sharing harmless gossip, catching up on news from other clans, and he heard nothing about what ShadowClan was planning. He noticed, though, that all the ShadowClan cats he passed glared at him, still fiercely hostile, and he caught one or two of them glancing up the great rock as if they were impatient for the meeting to start. At last a yowling sounded from the top of the rock, and the murmuring from the cats below died away. Fireheart found a place at the edge of the hollow where he had a good view of the 4 clans, their silhouettes black against the sky. Sandstorm settled herself beside him, crouching with her paws tucked under her chest. "Now for it," she whispered expectantly. Nightstar stepped forward, stiff-legged with barely suppressed fury. "Cats of all clans, listen to me," he demanded. "Listen and remember. Until last Greenleaf, Brokenstar was leader of ShadowClan. He was—" Tallstar, the leader of WindClan, stepped forward to stand beside Nightstar. "Why do you speak that hated name?" he growled. His eyes flashed, and Fireheart knew he was remembering how Bluestar and his warriors had driven WindClan out of their territory. "Hated, yes," Nightstar agreed, "and with good reason, which you know as well as any cat, Tallstar. He stole Kits from ThunderClan. He forced Kits from his own clan into battle too early, and they died. In the end, he was so bloodthirsty that we, his own clan, drove him out. And where is he now?" Nightstar's voice rose to a shriek. "Was he left to die in the forest or scavenge a living among two-legs? No, because there are cats here tonight who have taken him in. They are traitors to the warrior code and to every other cat in the forest." He could see what was coming, and by the troubled look she gave him in return, so could she. "ThunderClan!" Nightstar yowled. "ThunderClan are sheltering Brokenstar.